some an exit intent pop-up, so it should be pretty fun. Yesterday we worked on this library that gives us the actual exit intent. So yeah, so we're off to a good start. So today we're going to be building out the HTML for these different types of exit intent. And I think the first thing we should do is actually build this modal. So yeah, I think we're going to research how to build a modal first. To build modal. Okay, so these are our steps. Okay, so first things first, how do we build a modal? How to build a modal in modern CSS. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. We'll look at some like open source ones, but I don't think we want to actually use them. I think we want to create ours from scratch because we don't want to like rely on like a huge library. We're not going to look at that. It's a little old. Let's look at that one. Modal CSS. We'll look at this. And we'll look at this one. Okay, so we've got enough to kind of get an idea of what our modal should look like. Oops, I didn't connect to chat yet. Sorry. Okay, no one's here yet, anyways. Okay. So let's see. Begin with the page markup. Okay, sure. We have modal. Define some basic styles. This looks good because they're using, hey, Sir Voxels, welcome. And Fiarms, welcome. Fiarms, Fear MS. But Sir Voxels, how's it going today? What are you up to today? And are you working on your game today? So first of all, I like that they're using variables. That's a good sign because it usually means they're up with the best modern practices. I also respect this CSS reset because that's the same one I use for new projects. And yeah, they know how to reset a button, which is nice. But I'm not really interested in this CSS because this is just kind of the the like foundational CSS. It doesn't have to do with the modal. And then this is again just like the button for opening the modal. So it's not the modal positioning yet. Okay, here we get the modal. So each modal will have the following characteristics. It'll be full screen. Okay, so before we get into this, let's look at what the result is. Okay. So let's change the view to full page view. See what happens. So it's pretty big. I don't know if we're going to be able to control its size. I don't care for that, but that's fine. Okay, so let's see if we're able to control its size. Okay, so fixed. Hey, Dean K85, welcome to the stream. We're researching how to build modals right now because we're building an exit intent pop-up, and we've got the exit intent code down, but we need to actually, style this modal and get it to pop up. So we're looking for how to style it right now and researching that. So Voxel says, today I worked with AR, or you're working with AR, trying to build a small game with it. Oh, that's awesome. You love how easy Apple made it to build an AR app. That sounds awesome. I definitely wish I was building an AR app today. That sounds really fun. um, do you ever like live stream that, or you're mostly just experimenting, playing around, not not really live streaming? Um, just curious because that's something I would be interested in watching, but I'm sure it's actually kind of hard to live stream it. Maybe. Yeah, probably. Okay, so we've got modal. I don't know if this is the actual modal container or if this is the actual modal. I think it's the container. Yeah. So we have, so that's weird because the modal is supposed to be actually the notification, but this is just the backdrop because I see modal dialog down here. So position fixed, that's fine. Top left, right, bottom, 0, 0, 0, that's fine. So it's going to take up the full screen. Display flex, align item center, justify content center. Oh, okay, that's cool. You're just playing around. Padding 1 rem. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Background black. Cursor pointer. That makes sense. Visibility hidden. Okay, that makes sense too because it's going to start off hidden. Opacity 0. Okay. Transition. Sure. On all. Okay. The dialog will have a maximum width and maximum height. Okay. I don't care for that. I would rather it be an absolute, but that's fine. I mean, they can do what they want. Position relative max. Oh, it has a max. Oh, it has a max width though. Oh, okay, that's nice. I guess I meant like, yeah, they're expanding the width based on the content. I don't like that it's so wide, but you know, that's easy to change for us. Border radius. It's funny that their syntax highlighter on this website is so old that it doesn't recognize border radius or transition. I don't even know if that's why it's not, but I feel like it's not picking up the newer CSS attributes. But opacity is pretty old, so I would imagine it would pick that up. Unless this is like from, I don't know, the year 2000 or something. But yeah, that's funny. Okay, max height. So it looks pretty easy to create it. I guess I was just a little worried. I don't know why I was a little worried that I wouldn't be able to style it. We might just jump right into actually styling it. But I was kind of thinking maybe there is. Oh. Keyboard focus should be moved inside the modal and restored to the previous active element when the modal is closed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Huh. Okay. Okay. This seems like a lot of work. But we'll look into it because accessibility is important. Overlay, z-index, position fixed. Okay, so they use a slightly different approach. And the JavaScript. Oh, and they're using jQuery. Ay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, this one. We might use this. this doesn't close when you click the backdrop, but that's something that we can fix. Yeah, this looks decent. This looks decent. And yeah, I mean it's going to be strong. A strong foundation, I think. And bug fix too. jQuery. So this one's using jQuery. We don't want to use jQuery. We want to use vanilla JavaScript. So I think we are going to start with this foundation. Okay, so let's bring it in to our own code. I guess we can quickly go through some of the other modals. But let's see. So this is going to be like email, popup. Okay. And we'll create an HTML file in here called index.html. And we're going to paste some starting HTML in there. And we're going to create a JS folder with a main.js file in there. And we're going to create a CSS folder with some CSS in there. Okay, so this is our starting field, and we're going to just grab everything. Shouldn't receive focus when the modal is open. Okay, whatever. So we've got our HTML right here. We're going to delete probably most of this. We've got our CSS, and we've got our JavaScript. And let's look at details. How do I look at the details of this? Copyright. Okay. So we're going to do a new file in here. Or we'll say modal license. Okay. Just to give that person credit, but we're going to be modifying a lot of the code. Okay, so let's open up our HTML, and we're going to try to open the modal. Looks good. Okay, so first things first, let's clean up the HTML. So I think we are going to have some styles, but modal title, modal description. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I just haven't used these before. I haven't used ARIA labels before, so that's my guilty secret. But let's look at them. HTML. Okay, aria label. Okay, and label by objects and their labels, element IDs. So I think label is going to be described by. Okay, so if I do labels, okay, how about aria describe aria? Oh man, there's no aria describe. Aria. There's no, oh, maybe there's just description? Label described by, okay. I'm not like super against using describe by and using IDs. Okay, so this looks like it's a new thing. It looks like maybe it was merged. Okay. Well, okay. We're just gonna, I guess, stick with this. Modal title. I guess I would just prefer these to be lowercase. And we'll say modal description. Those are fine. We'll have IDs because we're not going to have more than one modal on the page. Okay. Role dialog class modal. So we're going to say class like I think email modal, and then we're going to have email modal title, just so we're not like interfering with other potential modals that'll come along in the future. And then we're going to start using BEM methodology for naming. And we got to change these. Email modal description, visually hidden. How to use the modal. What is aria described by? Aria described by. Okay, describe the object. Essence of the object. Okay. See an example. Info. Yeah, okay. So I don't think we need it to be visually hidden. I think we'll just display it. Okay, and then we're going to have this input and close modal, and we're going to label this differently. So this is going to be email modal close. and we're going to have email modal open. So we are now building an accessible modal component, which is something I have never done before. Okay, so we need to change all of these classes to be email modal, and then this is going to use them syntax. Visually hidden, we're not using, and this focus style is bullshit, so we're going to get rid of that. Okay, now our JavaScript, we're going to have email modal open and close instead of this. And also, there's no way I'm going to use an area element or an iframe, an object, or an embed in here, or tab index. Or, no, I could use tab index. But I'm not going to use content editable. So we can delete all this. Okay, so we're going to have email modal open, and email modal close, and we're going to do email modal for that, and main is going to be, so let's do modal element, because I just like knowing what type of thing everything is. And we're going to say modal element, and we can just search for modal dot wherever it appears. Oops. Apparently we can't because of things. Okay, so we're going to just go through the code, replace modal with modal element. That looks good. We're going to search for this now. Actually, that doesn't need to be changed, because we didn't, well actually, I prefer button element, okay, great. So now we're going to just test to see if this works in 1 second, but we just want to make sure that we changed everything that we need to change first. So, hey, Ilverse, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining, and let me know if you have any questions about the code, or you want to share what you're working on. So focusable elements, we're going to do a for each. We're going to set the attribute tab index to -1. Trap the tab focus by disabling tabbing to all elements outside your modal. Okay. Already has a tab index. And we're doing this for everything inside of main. Oh, okay, nice. That's cool. That sounds good to me. So we're creating an accessible modal component right now. We're doing it based on another person's library or code that we found on CodePen, and we're just changing some of the styles to be more consistent with, I guess, how I usually code. Okay, so let's finish changing these main things to main element. Oops, no, that's not right. That's not right. Oh, we do want to change it to main element. But actually, I think instead of main element, so let me just search for main dot. So we're finding the focusable selectors there. Oh, we're setting main to be true, to be hidden. Okay, so the modal is outside of main. This is interesting. The modal's outside of main, and then we're disabling everything inside of main. That's interesting. we're disabling like tabbing to main. We're disabling what was this other thing? We're disabling the screen reader from going to main. So this is interesting because now it's required. Hey, Commander Root, welcome. And Wilbert Liu, welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. So now our modal is kind of telling us that it's kind of determining what the structure of our DOM can be. So that's a little bit concerning, but it's, you know, in the service of creating, you know, an accessible component. So it's okay. Well, you know, that makes sense. So we'll do it, but we have to put something in the README. So we'll say, like, in order to use this modal, you need to organize your page. So my goal is to like add this modal to the body of the page at the end of the body automatically. And then there's going to be some other main container element. It's really unfortunate that that is the case. I think actually we might not need to do that. Let's see if we can not do that. Actually, you know, before we get too deep into this, let's just make this work how it is, right? So let's just search for main, and let's just get this to work based on, like, with our changes, right? And then we can go into all this other experimentation. Okay, so that should work fine, that should work fine, that should work fine, modal element, focusable element, oh, didn't replace that one, that's fine. Oh, interesting. But what if it had a tab index before, huh? What about that? Untrap screen reader. Focus. Ariana Marie, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy the coding. So modal element, set attribute. Okay, remove attribute, aria hidden. And we're going to restore focus to the triggering element. Very interesting. Okay. So I like that. Let's go and see if our code still works. It did. But was focus restored? I don't know if focus was restored. But most of it looks good. Let's see if there was any JavaScript errors. None. So we might be good here. Let's commit this code while we still can. So let's say email popup. Okay, we'll create this and make sure we didn't commit anything weird. Okay, we're going to publish this, and we're going to keep it private for now. We'll probably make it public in a second. Sullivan, hey, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Long time no see. It's been a couple weeks, I think. How are you doing? What's up with you? We're making an accessible modal component right now. And I am contending with the modal component's insistence of determining how my page is structured, which I don't like. So let's see what we're using this main element for. So we're grabbing all the focusable elements that are not inside the modal. You're making some good progress on big projects at work. You don't want to quit it anymore. Oh, that's awesome. Ken's Young Life 21, welcome to the stream. That's really cool. Delivery person got too close to me, counting down the 14 days again for COVID watch. Oh my goodness. Jeez. So wait, what kind of modal thing? So I'll show you. So we're working on this design. So there's two components here. So one is this form along the bottom of the page that says sign up for updates. And then this is the mobile version of that. And then we have this modal component that will pop up when you're about to exit the page. Now, I know, everyone hates pop-ups. They're the worst. However, I'm trying to get more email signups. And I've heard that exit intent email pop-ups are really, really good. So at like converting visitors. So I'll share an article. Yeah, and we're not gonna pop it up if like less than a certain amount of time has passed, and we're not gonna pop it up unless they're definitely exiting the page, like their mouse is going towards the top of the page, and it's like outside the screen. So most likely they're exiting because a certain amount of time has passed, but we've established that they're interested in the content. And they're about to leave, they might want to sign up, right? So, yeah. If you can't tell, I'm feeling a little guilty about it. But we're going to pop up this, and then this is the mobile style. And we made the exit intent code, so we actually have a little mini library right here. Super simple code to determine if exit intent has happened. And yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So now we're working on modals. We got to the third article researching this, and we found a really good accessible version of a modal from CSS Tricks. So I think we're actually going to close the rest of these. Yeah. Basics only. Yeah. So we're going to close the rest of these, and we're just going to work on this one. So right now we're using main element to determine like where the main content is and where the modal content is, like in differentiating them. And then we're grabbing all the focal elements from the main element and making sure that they can't be tabbed into. And we're also like hiding the main element from screen readers. And then after the modal's closed, we're reversing all of those things. So the problem is that right now it's basically requiring me to have my page in a certain format where we have the modal in a separate area than the main content, and it's also relying on there being actual main content, which I don't like. I really don't like that. I don't think a plugin should determine the structure of the page. So we're going to try to do something a little bit different. So first of all, what I want to happen with this plugin is that it's going to actually add the modal to the page. To Ruzera, thank you for following. I really appreciate that a lot. So this HTML is going to be at the bottom of the body element. So this is where it's going to appear. Let's make sure changing that. Oh no. So it did affect it. But that makes sense because we're adding it after the JavaScript, which is the thing that's initializing, everything. So that won't actually happen in production, but that's a good thing to know, to be aware of. But moving it below main didn't hurt anything, so that's fine. So now I want to just be able to get rid of main. That's my dream. And we're probably going to have some other container here, but I don't want the modal to be aware of it, to think, oh yeah, I need to know what this is, or I need to find everything else. It should just work without that. Torrizera, welcome to the stream. So if we have an input type text here, I shouldn't be able to tab into it. And if I relabel this as main, that's going to be true. So let's just check that out. So right now I can tab into it. If I open the modal and close my DevTools, I cannot tab into the rest of the page. That's kind of cool. I never knew it was so easy to do that, actually. Okay, but if I delete this main thing and I go to div, I can tab back into the page. So how do we prevent that? So we might also have another container element over here with another input in it. And we want to be able to take care of all of that. So I think what I want to do is do something a little weird. So for this one, we can take care of it pretty easily. So we're gonna grab all of the focusable elements by doing document body query selector all, grabbing all of the focusable elements, and then we're gonna get the focusable elements inside the modal. And for that, we just need the modal element, and we're gonna query selector. So now we have two, and now we just need to take out anything inside of focusable elements. That's inside of the focusable elements in modal. So for this, we can do the arrow function. That's fine. But we're just going to say if I wonder with a query selector if I'm able to filter or like see if it contains it somehow. So if I do query selector all on this, span, can I do some kind of contains? No. Okay, so that's fine. Oops, in modal, and we'll just say array, and we'll just do array from this. Okay, so then we're going to say if this includes element, or L, I guess we're calling it. Stranger Things is so good, huh? So if it includes that, so if it doesn't include it, then we're going to set the tab index to -1. So that should take care of that. Now this is the difficult part because yeah, because of L, I said because the person who wrote this code named this L, and there's 11 from Stranger Things, and sometimes they call her L. It's also like the best show ever. Yeah. Okay, so this should take care of the focusable elements for opening the modal, but not for closing the modal. But we should just have to do the reverse of this when closing the modal. Remove tab index. Do we have a tab index inside the modal? I don't think we do. No tab index. So we can actually just do this on the body for the reverse. Wait, no, we don't need to do this on the body. We could just do document. Why are we doing it on the body? I don't know. Okay. So that should work fine for releasing it. So let's see. Well, we actually won't be able to fully see, but the tab index stuff should work. So let's open the modal. Yep, we can't tab into the page, and if we close the modal, we're back to being able to tab into the page. That's great. So now the modal code is not determining the structure of our page as much. However, we still got this thing, so we should have a JavaScript error. Yeah. We're setting attribute and removing an attribute on main element which doesn't exist anymore. So we're setting aria hidden to true on these. So there's a few options we could do here, but I think the best option is to just grab all of the children of body and set the aria hidden to true, except for the email modal. So, and we already have the email modal, so if I do document body children, so that's interesting because we're gonna get a script tag. We could get other tags that are important. I'm not sure what I don't think it's really going to affect anything if we set an aria hidden on a script tag. So yeah, let's just do it, right? It's not going to be accessible by screen readers, whatever, right? Like, it's not accessible by screen readers anyways. So let's do, so we want to do document body children yeah, it's kind of cool. I guess like just aria hidden means that like that element isn't going to be focusable by a screen reader. It's just going to be hidden from a screen reader. So like I guess if you're using a screen reader and there's like a bunch of content that's just not relevant, but that's hidden on the page or something, then just tag it with aria hidden. But I guess for a modal, what people say is that you should like take the screen reader to this other location, and you should like trap the screen reader there, I guess. Yeah. And then you can put it back for the other part of the to return it to the original context. But like the way a modal works for people who can see is that it traps their focus. So I think it's like trying to do the same thing for screen readers, and like giving them the same experience. So I think we are going to assume, I think this code is going to assume that the modal has been added to the end of the body. So we're going to do document body children, and that's going to be an HTML collection. So we're going to do, well, can I do a for each on this? No. HTML collections are so weird. Like there's HTML collections, and then there's document. If you do document query selector, it's like a different type of thing. Query selector all, and we just do like div. Then you get a node list, and node lists are static, but HTML collections will live update. It's very weird stuff. But yeah, and like node lists have for each on them, but HTML collections do not. I guess it kind of makes sense. If you have a live updating thing, you wouldn't want to be doing a for each on it. But we're going to just transform that into an array because it's easier to work with that way. And we're going to say const top level elements. Makes it sound like they have kind of like some kind of secret access or something. And we're just going to loop through these. So we're going to just do like for each. And we're going to use L again. And we're going to say if L does not equal modal element, then we're going to do this thing where we aria hidden it. So this is only going to be for top level children. Document body and then any children. And we're converting that into an array. We're assuming that there's going to be at least one because, well, by this point we will have added the modal, so that's a safe assumption. And then we're just making sure the element isn't equal to the modal element, and we're just setting aria hidden on all of those. Lumjacker, hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. How's your day going? What are you up to in these crazy times? And then, so here, untrap screen reader focus, modal element set attribute aria hidden true, yep. And main element remove attribute aria hidden. So I think instead what we're going to do is document query selector all, and we're going to grab everything that has an oh no, we can't. But we can do document body dot query selector all. Yes. No. Yeah. We can. No. We can't. Oh. We could do document query selector all body and then child, so the immediate child aria hidden. Then we'll get everything that we set before. And so then we'll do like aria, or we'll say top level elements. Okay, and then we're going to want to loop through these and remove the aria hidden attribute. So we can do for each on these. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we'll do L, and then we're going to do L, remove attribute, and this thing. And then afterwards, we're going to set the modal to hidden. And let's see, oh wait. We don't want main element here, we want L here. And let's search for main element. Oh, what am I building? It's a good question, sorry. So I'm building this modal pop-up like email sign-up form on exit intent. So when someone is about to leave the page, if it's been more than like, let's say 15 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds, they're going to get this pop-up asking them to sign up for my newsletter. And the reason I'm doing this is because, one, even though it's a little annoying, it does increase signups. And I got some advice from an Indie Hackers post that I'll post into chat about how much it increased someone's email signups, and I'm really looking for more email signups for Remake to kind of get people more involved in the community and like get updates and like be excited about Remake. So I'm trying to encourage that. And so I think this will help with that and help, people who come to the website and have an interest in it sign up. And I'm turning this into like a general library so that other people can use it on their sites, but so I can use it on all of my sites. So I can use it here on the main website as well as on the blog, because I'm planning to post a bunch of articles to the blog soon, like 5 different articles, really good articles to the blog. And if I have this exit intent pop-up, if I can convert even just like, 5% more of them to the email list, that's going to be huge, right? Because I'm expecting, a lot more attention on the blog and the website over the coming months. So that's what I'm working on. And right now we're making an accessible modal pop-up because we found this really cool code on, yeah, totally, yeah. I think if you have a new product, the first thing you want to do is just set up like a landing page with an email sign up. You can never do that too early. Just like start gathering interested people who are interested in your market and what you're doing. Okay, so main element is no longer used. And now we have, I think, a fully accessible modal library that will not rely on the page structure very much, which is awesome. So let's try it out again. Make sure there's no broken things. So now I can tab through the page. Well, let me close that. So now I can tab through the page. If I open the modal, I cannot tab through the rest of the page. And if I look at the elements, they should all be ARIA hidden. ARIA hidden, ARIA hidden, ARIA hidden. And if I close the modal, they should all not be ARIA hidden. And the modal should be. And if I refresh, it starts out ARIA hidden, which is great. And if I open the modal, it's only the top level elements that get ARIA hidden on them. Nothing inside of them. Perfect. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so we'll say make modal, or remove dependence on page structure for modal. That is not English, but I'll take it. Okay, so so now I guess the next part is creating the actual modal. So we have some pretty simple CSS here. I don't want to add any resets here. Although it can never hurt to border box it up. So to do box sizing, border box, just on the component that you're working with. So you don't want to add it to the rest of the page, obviously. But I think we can just do like a mini reset here, where we do email modal, comma, email modal star, and we just do box sizing, border box. So that's easier to work with, the modal code inside the modal. Okay, so background 0.6. Okay, I think this is a fine background for a modal. I'm not going to complain about it. That is, 0.6 opacity background. I'm not sure. Oh, the edge has a 20 pixel border. I prefer working in rems, so I'll just do 1.5 rem around there. I like putting display near the top because it's the most likely to cause issues, so I like to just have that be easy to see. So we'll move that to the top, although position also can cause bugs, so we'll put that second. And padding is more likely to cause bugs than background, so we'll put that here. And I like putting background color to be explicit instead of just background. And I like using hex codes instead of named colors because I just like to be consistent. So for the modal content, let's see. I think we could just make it a set width. So maybe we'll just do 480. Now the problem with setting a 480 width is that it's going to be larger than some mobile screens. So we're going to have to adapt it at smaller screen sizes. Which is fine. I could say like max width. Yeah, I do kind of like having, I think max width overrides width. So I think we could say max width calc 100 view width minus 3 rem. And I think that's going to make it so that there's going to be padding on either side of it. Email modal content. Wait, what is email modal content? Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. 480. So why is it centered? Oh, because of this. Because of Flexbox. That's cool. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. It looks pretty good, and let's see what it looks like on mobile size. iPhone. Oh, because I rotated it. Why is it super small? Oh, because I'm not using, I'm not zooming in on phone. So there's like a meta tag for HTML to like initial scale. Okay, responsive viewport. Okay. So the initial size of this is going to be zoomed in. Very important to have that. Okay, so now this looks good, and it looks like I was right, and now it's getting the padding around the sides because the max width has been set to the view width minus 3 rem. So we don't even have to have a media query, which is excellent, because I never trusted media queries anyways. Not really, but just kind of felt like saying that. So yeah, so this looks pretty good. It's a little weird. No, I guess it's not that weird. That it's vertically centered. I would prefer it to be like maybe a little higher, but that's not really a big deal. Also, why are so on mobile, my inputs aren't styled right. I don't know. Maybe that's a Chrome thing. And the height shouldn't be exact. Oh yeah, totally. No, I would totally want to stop by. Could you let me know what time it is? Or like ping me on Twitter. If you ping me on Twitter and ask for my phone number, I'll send you my phone number, and then you can text me when your stream is starting. That would be the best way, because I might not be on the computer when your stream starts. So I'd hate to miss it. But yeah, totally. I would love to catch it. So I don't think it should have a height. Let's see if we can just knock that height out and see what happens. That's perfect. Well, what's wrong with this? This is totally fine. I wonder why they had a height on it. Huh. Okay. So background color F and padding will have, I guess the padding kind of looked good. What is this? Oh, that's because it's a, okay, awesome. Thank you, Salvin. Okay, so now is it time to style the modal. So I guess we could remove this display none for now. So I'm going to just leave it here as a reminder. Okay, so now it's displayed by default, and it wasn't initialized. Oh, you know what? I don't have to even remove it. Let's just run the open modal function right away. So we'll just run it here. Great, and now we've got the focus stuff all set. Okay, so I think now we're going to just work on styling the modal to look like this modal, because I think that's the next thing to do. So let's we'll just say like cleaned up the CSS. Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to change in the CSS. This padding. I'm not sure exactly what the padding should be on the modal. Looks like 35, 32, 29. I guess it should be pretty exact. So yeah, let's do exactly what we have. 32 on each side, I think. And on the bottom we've got 29. Okay. And we'll move this up just one. Okay, so we'll say cleaned up CSS. Okay, cool. I still don't know what's happening with my buttons on mobile. Okay, so where to start? I guess we start with the first element. So we'll start with this element up here. So we want to have a media element with an image on the left, and then these two here. So I like having a little room to breathe at the bottom of a file. Okay, so here, hi Flickr says, have you set up how you will store the data from this pop-up yet? I have not. Oh, are you saying like the email address? Because I'm planning on collecting email addresses. Are you saying how I'm going to store those? I think I'm going to just send them straight to a form endpoint. Yeah, I haven't set that up yet, but I think there's going to be a callback on the oops, shit. I think I'm going to have a callback on the initialization code for like when the form's submitted. It just calls the callback with whatever, with the element, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And then I'm going to pass it to either ConvertKit or form, I forget what it's called, but I use another form library for email signups. Yeah. Okay, so for this content, we're going to have, you're learning how to code for a project. That's cool. Well, feel free to share what you're working on. We'd love to know. So we're going to have a media object here. So we're going to say like email modal, oops, class email modal. I guess we're not going to call it media object. We're going to call it like top, because it's going to be the top area. And then do we want to rely on this being an ID? I don't like using IDs for styling, so I think we're going to actually have a different one. And we're going to just say title and email modal description. Okay, and then we're going to have our input and our button. I think the input should have its own wrapper to make it easier to style. So we're not going to have these break tags. And we're going to have class email modal input wrapper input container. I like using container just consistently. And then for the button's also going to have its own wrapper. And I believe we're just going to say email modal button container. Oh no. You have a big question. Hi Flickr says, I want a queue setup where you input your name into a text box and it submits you into the queue. I would also like the data from this queue to be displayed onto a table on a website. Okay, can you give us any more context about what this is for? Because that would, I think, help. So you want a queue set up where you input your name and it submits you into the queue. Yeah, like, I guess where is this queue going? Is this to an email list? Is this to someone's trying to book your calendar? Like, is it to enter into a game or a meetup? That would be interesting to know. Are you using, and like, what are you using for your backend? Like, do you have a backend yet? Do you have a database? Are you using maybe Firebase or some other backend system? Like, do you know Node.js? Are you just building this out locally as like a proof of concept that you want to show other people? Because then you could just use local storage if you don't need to if you don't need to share it, like publish it. Yeah, I think I need a little bit more context. But Firebase is pretty good. You could also use FormSpree. FormSpree is the API, the form API endpoint that I use. It's really, really simple to set up, and I think it would work for your use case because you could just put your name into it. You click submit, and then FormSpree is going to send you an email, and then your email inbox could work as the queue. SP, I don't know what SP means. At work, we plan on having a happy hour every other Friday. We plan on playing games, so I wanted a queue system to see who would be next to play. You have zero knowledge of a backend setup. Well, if it's just for work, you could still just use local storage. So okay. So let's, I don't know, do you guys want to build this real quick? So we're going to have an input, type text, and we're going to have a button, add to queue. And we're going to use MVP CSS because I haven't used this yet, and it looks kind of cool. It's a little weird, but whatever. Padding 1.5 rem. Okay, and then we're going to say document add event listener. Click function event, and we'll move this over so we can see this more. So you just want, when you submit something here, it's just going to be added to a list, and it's just their name. Joe Masalati, thank you. Hey, welcome to the stream. You made it. Thank you for the follow. So we're gonna, yeah, so let's create that table. So we'll have a div and another, and a div, and then we're gonna have a parent div. Okay. One thing at a time, my Flickr. Blood trail, what does that mean? Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, so we're going to have like a container, and we'll have our little table. Thank you for the follow. And we'll grab this and put it in here. And this is going to be our queue. And we're going to say container is going to have a width of 600 pixels, I guess. And it's going to be display flex. And for our queue, we're going to have, well, actually we're going to have container, and then the direct children are each going to have a width of 50%, just so that, you know, there's a, whatever. I don't know how to say it. There's like a minimum width. And then for our queue, we're just going to have like a background color so we can see it. Okay, so we haven't really gotten to the good stuff yet. Margin right 1 rem. Okay, so this looks good. So now we're going to click, and we're going to say, if you clicked on a button that is add to queue, we're going to say button add to queue. So if event target closest, and this is just how I like doing event listeners, because it's using event delegation, so it's not going to break ever, but there's no real need to do this here. You could just attach the event listener directly to the button element, but I just like doing this to future-proof it. So when it's added, we're going to grab the input. So let's add a class to this, and we're going to say person's name. We'll just say person's name. Whatever, I'm not going to use BEM right now. Okay, so we're going to grab the value of this. So we'll do document. Well, we could actually just define this up here. So we'll say input, or we'll say person's name input document query selector Okay, and then we're going to grab the value from here. Let value. And then we're going to add it to the queue. So we're going to grab the queue element so that we have it. Queue element. Queue. And we're going to say insert adjacent HTML before end and div. And we'll make this a template string. So we can just put the person's name in here. Okay, so now if we type in David, add to queue, comes up there, jogged, and Sarah. So now if you never refresh this page, this would work. But to make it work with refreshing the page, let's make a little like mini database, right? So a little local storage database is going to look like this. So we're going to have function set item and function get item. And we're going to have the name of the like database. And we're going to just call it database. We're going to just call it database. And we're going to say, you know, if it's defined, local storage get item database name is database defined, is database available, and we're going to say if it's available, or wait, no, we're going to say if it's not available, then create it. So then we're going to do local storage. I think it's just set item. And what am I doing with this? That should not be in quotes. And we're going to do this, and the starting database is going to be equal to an object. Like a JSON object. Okay, and set item is going to be the name of the item, item name and item value. And get item, we're just going to have to pass in the item name. So we're making a little mini database here on the front end. So item name, local storage, set item. Okay, now we need to get the current. So we need to get the current database object. Current database object is going to be local storage, so we're going to just grab it again, I guess. That might not be the best way to do it, but I think it's fine. And we're going to do JSON parse. So now we should have an object, and we're never going to change it to not be an object, so this should always be an object. And then we're just going to set the item name and the item value on it equal to item value. And then we're going to save it. So now we need to save it. So set item, and we need to stringify it. And we need to pass in the name, which is going to be the database name. So this lets us like work with objects without, like it lets us just work with names and values instead of having to work with local storage directly. So it's just like a thin API wrapper. So let's see, we're getting the database. If it's not available, we're going to create it with an empty object. Then we're going to parse that object. So we're going to at least have an empty object. We might have an existing object. Then we're going to set the item name on that object to the item value, and then we're going to reset local storage. I think I could have done it a little bit more efficiently, but that's fine. I think that will work. I'm not sure. And then get item. I think we're going to just do the same thing as this. And this. And then we're just going to return this. And I'm not really sure if this is going to work or not, but we will see. So hopefully we don't get any issues here. Okay, so if I do set item, and I do like name is equal to David, and I do get item, just name, I got David back. And if I do set item, and this is like some kind of array thing, hello, we'll just call it hello, and we do 1, 2, 3, and we do get item on hello, we get back 1, 2, 3. So now we can just work with regular objects. So this is only if it's okay for you to work with local storage, where you're not like gonna use multiple computers, or like clear your entire browser cache. But if you're just using this queue on one computer, this would work. Otherwise, you have to replace this local storage stuff with a real backend. Okay, so let's get this to work. So we've got person's name. Now we're going to add this to our database. So we're going to, so we need to get all of our names first. So we're going to get our people. So we're going to say people array is equal to this. And if we don't have a people array, then we're going to set it. Yeah. Well, we can look into that in a second. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, don't worry about it yet. Okay, so set item, we're going to do people to an empty array. And we're going to just trust that that worked. And set this, Yeah, that's fine. Oh, actually, we don't need this. We don't need that. Yeah, I think we don't need that below either. Okay, so now we've got our people array. Now we're going to add our person to it, our person's name to it. Person's name. And now we're going to call render. And render is going to be a function. And we're going to grab, well, before you do that, I think I have a solution. So, Firebase is actually a little bit complicated for a beginner. Okay, so we're going to have this or an empty array. But I don't know, Firebase is a Google product. It's like a really simple way of working with the backend, and you can basically use it to store data remotely. But it can be a little bit hard to get set up with it. But I think I have a good. Hey, Blackjack007, thank you for subscribing. So we're going to do people array, and then we're going to do. So we need to get HTML from this. So we're going to join. No. What am I? How am I gonna? I'm gonna map, right? Yeah. So we got person, and then we're gonna join this with an empty string. Okay. So we got return, and we're gonna want a template string here. Div person. Okay, so now we should have the HTML that we need. So we'll say people HTML. And now we should just be able to add this to the queue element as its inner HTML. It's possible this totally doesn't work. Okay, so let's console, or actually, let's just use our get item here. Oh, set to nothing. Okay. Oh, we didn't set, yep, we didn't set our people array after we pushed it in. So we just need to say people and people array. Okay. So now I should be able to add someone. Okay. And if I refresh, it's not there anymore because we didn't call render when the page loaded. Cannot access database name. Okay, so we'll put this stuff at the top. Okay, we'll say local storage database. And down here, we'll say Q code. Okay. Now we refresh, we get David John. Can add Mary. It's not clearing the input afterwards. So we want to get the input and clear it. And it's also not going to work with It's not. It doesn't work with enter yet, but we can fix that in a second. Okay, so now I have this little thing, and maybe we add like a little padding to this. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So now we have the queue that you're asking about. I'm going to just hide my screen for a second. And I'm going to download this. I'm going to export this, download it, and okay. So it works on my local machine. I don't know exactly why I hid my screen. I was planning on using ngrok. So if I go into my downloads folder and I go into CodePen and I start up, I think it's like this, a server with Python on port 8000. Then I have, oh, oops. I want to go into my dist folder first. Okay. So now I have it running on my local machine. Now I can do ngrok port 8000. Oop. What happened here? There we go. Okay, let's see what went wrong here. Oh, okay, I need HTTP. And now you guys should be able to access this as long as my computer is running. So now you guys can go there and type in your own, and it should add it to this. There are some problems though. Yeah. The main problem is that, never mind. This won't work. I'm sorry. Why isn't that working? Oh, it's because it's only local to you. Oh, that's my bad. Yeah. Yeah, you see, yeah, I'm an idiot. I was thinking, oh, there's going to be some way for you to access my local storage via the internet, but no. Huh. That's too bad. I guess we could add a simple backend somehow. I wonder if Firebase is the best way. Well, that should work. That should work for you guys anyways. And I'll share the CodePen so that you guys can use it. I don't know why I was thinking. I feel embarrassed that I was thinking that you could access my local storage. Oh. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit sleepy. Yeah, I haven't been getting a ton of sleep lately. Like 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours. But I think there's a way. Oh, You know what? I wrote about this. There is a way. So, let's go to blog.remaketheweb.com, go to low-code tools, and go to our backend as a service, simple backend. Maybe that one, maybe this one. Okay. Update. Delete. Ajax. So this might be possible. Okay, so yeah, we totally got distracted from our email pop-up. That's fine. This is a fun project. So let's see my dist folder. Okay, it looks pretty well formatted. We'll just rename this to queue. Okay, so we have our queue. We want to add a little database here. So let's actually just comment all of this code out and just see if we can get this to work. So if I just fetch this URL, what's going to happen? So I would have then response response.json. I believe this is how you do it with fetch. And then response console log. And this should return something like nothing, right? And let me just cancel this ngrok thing. Sorry. So if we look in our console, we got an array with 0. Okay, that's actually a really good sign. So create a record, box ID, so post. How do I post with JSON, with fetch? I really don't know. Using fetch. Post. How is this so complicated? What? Okay, whatever. Ay. Okay, so response await. Okay, that's fine. Method post. What did they say? Defaults are marked with a star? Okay, so cores. Sure. Default. Probably, but I think fetch is pretty easy. We're expecting JSON back. We don't need redirect. We don't need a referrer policy. Data. Okay. Response. JSON. Okay, this might work. So we'll just be passing in post data, and then our data, which is going to be Jon Snow, age 25. And it should return our response.json, but it's an async function, and we're doing it at the top level, which I don't think is allowed, but we're going to try it. So we're going to try. I hate programming sometimes. Okay, so we're just going to do that. Yeah, await is only, wait, what? Is only valid in async functions. Oh. So can I do this? Can it please let me do this? Oh, is this await function? Can I call this like this? Like an IFFE? I don't know how to do this. Top level await. No, I don't care about your coming soon feature. Okay. So I think I did it right, but whatever. Delete this. Oh wait, what did I do? Did I say await here? Instead of async? Is that what happened? Woohoo, we're getting it back. So post data. And if I do, so now if I do the thing I was doing before, where is that? So if I just, oh man, remember the thing I had before? Okay, let's just copy all this and undo everything. Yeah, this is what I want. Okay, let's copy this. Let's paste this back in. Okay, so now if I get this, and to differentiate them, we'll do 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is an array. We have Jon Snow in there. That's awesome. Okay. Whew. So now we get to add our thing. Oh wait, let's delete data. So that's the next thing. We need to be able to delete our... Oh, we didn't implement deleting yet for even our simple thing. Let's just see if it works, right? So how do I delete? Delete. Box ID, record ID. Or box ID and a query. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Okay, but we have the record ID. So this is our ID, our record ID. Let's just try to delete this record ID. Okay, so we're gonna have delete data. Actually, let's just have post data, but I don't know. We'll have send data, right? I don't even care. I don't care that it's whatever. And we'll just have the last thing be method. And this is going to be post by default. And we'll just pass that in like that. And then we should be able to delete using this. But let's make sure it still works. Okay, it still works. So now we should be able to send data. Let's comment this out for now. We don't need it. Okay, so now we're sending data, blah, 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 blah. This doesn't matter, right? Or does it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We just need the ID here. And we need to pass in delete here. Right? Okay, let's see if it works. Oh, and we'll do a fetch afterwards to make sure it worked. Sure. Record removed, but I think we added new ones in. 60. Yeah, those are new. Let's delete them too, just to see. They tried to do this on Game of Thrones, the actual show too. Tried to delete Jon Snow a few times. Great, we're down to 1 record. And let's get this last guy. This is what they should have done in the show. Make it more epic. But no, he was a fan favorite, so they couldn't kill him. But now he's gone. Okay, so that was great. Oh, sorry. I haven't. Is it good? Also, you guys can't be distracting because I literally have a million things to do in the next half an hour if we're going to get this to work. Okay. So. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Whoa, you're making it. Okay, you're making that game. Your company's making that game. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Actually, my phone's super old, so it's like a 6. So I probably won't be able to check it out. I can't actually play games on it. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? So I think the ideal API that I want is just like add person, remove person, get people, right? Add person, remove person, get people. That's all we need. So let's do it. Let's hook it up. So we got function, these guys. So we already have the ability to get all our people. So that was easy. And we're going to just make this an async function, and we're going to return await. I don't know. This is not. Is that it? How do I do this? So this is going to be the response. Then we're going to say, got it. Okay. So then we're going to say, like JSON response is equal to await response.json. And then we're just going to return JSON response. Okay. For removing a person, we do know how to do that. We're going to have to use this send data function. Remove. Okay. And I don't even really care about error handling with this. So we're not even going to await it. We're just going to do it. And we're going to pass in an ID. And we're just going to insert that into this. Are you still with us, person who wanted this? Wanted this feature? Wanted this app? Okay, so add person. Yes, we have it. Okay, awesome. So I think for this we're also going to just trust that it went through, and we're just going to send this data. And you're going to want to get your own URL from JSON box because mine's now compromised. You know, kind of. Okay, so we're going to put person object here. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I think that should be it. And now we're gonna, we don't have this stored anywhere. So let me get out of my Python server. And I'm just gonna copy these files over to a new Git repo, and we're gonna just say, we're just gonna call this like Q, we'll call it Q app. Okay, and I'm gonna paste these in here. And we're going to add this to GitHub so that we don't lose this stuff. Q app. Okay, and let's make sure I didn't commit anything weird. Okay, good. Okay, so now we've got our Q app, and oh yeah, we need to run it. So let's go into GitHub. Okay, Q app, and we're going to run the Python thing again. Okay, and let's close all this other stuff, because, oh, my poor modal. My poor modal. Okay, we got this, JSON box. Cool. I don't know what that's about. Oh, it's because, yeah, I'm still running this. Okay, so I think that should be good. Let's get rid of this local storage database that we spent so much time building. Actually, I want this. I want this for later. This will be a good foundation for me for another project. Okay, local storage DB. Okay, so now we have our Q code, and we've got our render. Why do we're not calling anything. I shouldn't be calling anything. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're still in our old code. That was my bad. We gotta drag our repo in here. Okay, got it. So we'll delete this. Delete our thing again, and uncomment our Q code. Okay, so now this should totally break. Yep, because we don't have our database anymore. So first of all, let's make this work a little bit nicer. So we want this to be a form instead. Form button type submit, and form, do I need a action? I don't know if I need, I don't know, I might need an action on this. But we're gonna just do document, yeah, let's grab our form. Form element, form element submit. So now it's going to trigger whenever we submit, and we're just going to just grab the that's fine. We'll just, yeah, we're not going to have another form on this page, so this is fine. And we're going to grab the input as normal, and now we should be able to, so we get the person's name, And now we just need to add, so we don't need to do all this funny stuff with the people array, because we're not working with our hacky little database. So we just need to do add person, and we're going to put in name person's name. Okay. And let's see. Oh. And render. So render is going to be get people. And then people array map person dot name. And then that. People array dot map. Get people. Oops. Get people. Oh, we need to await that. Okay. Async. Oh, I'm an idiot. Async function. Okay. So now we should have a call going out to render should be calling, yeah, this, and it's returning an empty array. Perfect. David, add. What happened? Did we post? Add person, send data, person, object. It should work, I think. Let's try again. So, clear. It refreshed the whole page. Yep, because I don't have a prevent default on this. Prevent default. So let's clear this. I think I just submitted it twice. No, I just submitted it once. Okay, so, and this came back with an empty array. I auto-removed it. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't think I auto-removed it. I think it was just the form submitting. I don't know why. So this response came, oh, because I didn't wait for it. I didn't wait before rendering it. So this add person should actually be async, and we will return await send data. Okay, add person, remove person, get people. So we'll await this, and yeah, that should be good. Okay, wait. Why am I not getting the people? Am I not calling get people when this get people console log? Oh, jeez. Okay, got it. So form element. Okay, async. John, great. Rachel, Mary, Phil, Karen. That's great. So we've got a working little thing, and if I do cd GitHub, cd q, and grok 8000, you guys should be able to go here and actually see it. So it should work now, I believe. And we could deploy this, and it would work also. I don't think it's going to live update, though. So the problem right now... the problem right now is that if... Oh no, it shouldn't be a problem. Well, the only problem is that it's not going to live update. So like if you submit a result, I have to refresh the page in order to see that result. Yeah. And that's a problem you could solve with Firebase. But this is a much simpler approach than Firebase. Now let's look at removing elements, right? We want to remove them. So let's go up to, so where we're adding the person, we want data ID to be equal to person.id, I believe it is. But yeah, what do you think, HiFlicker? Oh, you want it to be at the end? I think we could do that. I think we could do it. Okay, so it's underscore ID. Why does it stack rather than Q? Awesome. Awesome. So I'm not sure, actually. read, created on, users, descending order. So I think we do sort based on created age. Yeah, created on. So I think get people, we just want to do sort, and they said this is descending. We want ascending, I think. So I think we just want underscore created on. Let's see if it works. Boom. So it should work now. Okay, so let's see. Sort. And let's also look at if we get the ID on here. We do. We have the ID. So now we can delete. So now we're going to do document, document query selector, or no, sorry, document add event listener, click function event. And here, where's our MVP CSS? How do we get a small button? I don't think we can get a small button. I'm not sure what we should use for a delete button then. I guess we'll just add it, whatever, right? So we'll just add it right in here. Well, we could use like a little X before their name. Let's try that. So we'll do hash on this, and we'll do like X, and you can change it yourself later too. And we'll do class delete, delete person. Okay, so now we've got that there. So we're going to say if event target closest delete person, then we're going to do our magic. So we're going to remove person with that ID. And we'll get the closest ID. So the closest element with ID. So we'll get person element is going to be event target closest, and we'll select the element with data ID on it. So now we've got person element. Now we're going to get their ID. Person element get attribute data ID, and then we're going to delete it. So we're going to say, was it remove person? Remove person. We'll do await. I don't know why, but we'll do await, and we'll pass in the ID. And then we have to render. Okay. Okay. Await. Oh, await is only valid. There we go. Oh, and we need a prevent default here. Okay. So now we can delete John. He's gone. Rachel's gone. Mary's gone. Hi, Flickr. I'm going to delete you. No, just kidding. I won't delete you. No, you're good, Solvin. Don't worry about it. So you guys should be able to use it now. Just don't put in anything awful. And for our CSS, we can have our delete. Well, actually, let's add a little bit. I'm sure they actually have a reset already. So yeah, we'll just do delete person. And we'll do color, and we're going to do tomato. There we go. Nice little tomato. Okay, delete people. So I think that's it. I think we're all done. What do you think? Does it work for you? Do you have the code? Oh, did I not? I didn't release the code, did I? I'll make this public now, and then you can have the code. Okay. So we'll say database. And just by the way, with this database, anyone's going to be able to delete whatever they want. Like if you have another developer working with you who doesn't like you, they're going to be able to call this API. Like anyone's going to be able to delete anyone, which I don't know. Hopefully your office is very well behaved and considerate. Okay, so let's publish this. Cleaned up code. Well, otherwise you have to like add what do you call it, like user accounts and everything. Yeah. Okay, so we'll make this public. Oh, okay. I'm gonna hide my screen real quick. Okay. And now you should be able to download the code. It will say like a simple app for adding, removing people from a queue. Uses JSON box for store for our database. And if you want to deploy this, You could deploy it with like GitHub Pages or something. But there's another service. I don't know. You could use anything really. But what is it? I think NeoCities is kind of fun. Here, let me hide my screen real quick, because I think I have an account here. Okay. Let's see. Just trying to figure out NeoCities for a second. Huh. Well, you can host it anywhere, really. There's also static. I mean, it's just a static site. But Netlify is a great platform for hosting. Yeah, you could. Well, although it doesn't really make sense because it's not a remake web app. You could host it locally and then use ngrok, but then if your computer shuts down, the website goes away. I think you probably just want to use Netlify. Netlify is super simple to set up. Yeah, this actually could have been done using Remake. I can't believe I didn't think about that. I should have just done it in Remake. That's funny. I really should have done this in Remake. Oh, I'm an idiot. I just got carried away. Yeah, we could rebuild it in Remake probably in 5 minutes. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to stop hiding my screen. But yeah, Netlify is a great option. It's free. It's easy. You just drag and drop. Okay, so let's build this in Remake in the next 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to GitHub. We're going to do remake, create, Q app, remake. It'll take 2 minutes just to initialize this, huh? Okay, so we'll grab this. There's a bunch of stuff we want to, a bunch of styles we want to get rid of real quick. So in our layouts, we're going to just call this Q app. On our index page, we're going to say welcome to Q app. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. You can't do this with Remake. God damn it. You can't do this with Remake because only one person can edit the data on the page with Remake. Ooh, yeah. Okay, oh well. I tried. Oh, that was embarrassing. Well, you could do it with Remake very easily for a single person, but man, that's kind of disappointing. I gotta really figure out how to get Remake to work with multiple people's data. Even if it's a little insecure. Like this app is super insecure, the one that we just built. Because like anyone can edit it. The API endpoint's just like right there on the page. If someone else found it who was malicious, they could just add a bunch of bad data. They couldn't really compromise your web app because it's all just static. But yeah, I would settle even for Remake being able to do something like this. Huh. I don't know. Oh well. It was a good idea, Salvin. But yeah, no, I'm stupid. Yeah. I mean, it'd be really easy to do it for a single user in Remake, but yeah, no, it gives me something to think about. Because if you can't even create something like this in Remake, it's like, well, what am I doing? But no, I mean, this is kind of a specific thing. But yeah, I'm glad you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope that that works out for you. Hi Flickr. And feel free to like add different CSS or whatever. Like I know it doesn't look the best right now. And hopefully this gets you started, you know, with programming. You know, that kind of gives you like a good start, and you can like play around with it, see how it works, experiment with it. And yeah, if you run into any problems, just tweet at me or email me, and I'll try to get back to you. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for stopping by. I will be on next Thursday at by 10 a.m. probably. Okay, see you guys.